We'll go ahead and call the Ellis County, Kansas Public Building Commission meeting to order. Bobby, please call the roll.
Vice President Dean Hazelhorse.
Present.
Member Neil Younger.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Any changes to the agenda? There are none. Approval of prior minutes, July 12th, 2021. Neil, questions, comments? All good?
Things good.
Stand approved as presented. Consideration of accounts payable, Darren.
We have no accounts payable tonight.
2020 Public Building Commission Audit, Darren.
That should have been removed from the agenda. I don't know if she didn't publish the right one or not, but the audit was presented to the commission last month.
Exactly. Maybe we had a new
It
one.
was approved.
Okay, thank you.
It's not on my agenda. I don't know what happened.
Project Manager Report, Darren.
That is on the agenda.
There you go. We'll try that one.
Since our last meeting, we have finished the project up at the courthouse. That was the door that was entered into for the judges' chambers from the breezeway that used to be between the courthouse and the law enforcement center. That project is done and not necessarily related to the Public Building Commission, but one of the other building projects that we did have was the repaving of some, and fixing some cracks and ceilings of, and restriping of several parking lots throughout the county. I didn't have time to go check the one on the south end of this building, but Bobby said that it looked good, so they should be completely done with all that. Other than that, that's all I got for the project manager meeting, or report.
Any executive sessions? None. We will adjourn at 5:01. Whole minute, that was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Bobby, are you ready again?
I am.
We'll go ahead and call the Ellis County Commission meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Bobby, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Dean Hazelhorse,
Still present.
Commissioner Neil Younger.
Present?
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Order of business, any changes this evening, Neil or Darren? None.
No.
Prior minutes, Neil, October 4th, 2021.
As again, everything looks excellent,
Thank you again for our staff putting them together. You guys do a great job, Bobby and company.
for sure.
This time I'd like a motion for the consent agenda items A through G.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda, A through G.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Issues from persons not on the order of business this evening. Do we have any? Seeing none, we'll move on to the monthly financial report. Neil, questions?
No questions, everything looks good again.
They did. They did a great job. Thank you all for that. Next item, I'm assuming that's why everybody is here. Actually, I'm thinking everybody's here to see Vern take a new job, but maybe it's Mason. I don't know. Mason, are you up for anything this evening? Maybe? Kind of, sort of? A little bit? Okay. Next item, County Treasurer swearing in. Bobby Dryling, County Clerk, please take care of the job.
You want to raise your right hand? I'll just say it all.
Okay.
I, Vern Reuter, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and faithfully discharge the duties of the Ellis County Treasurer, so help me God.
I do. Thank you.
Don't run off. Don't run off. Vern, could you come back up, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Wish you well.
Looking forward to working with you.
Oh, then I need to make your signature right there, Vern. Congratulations. There you go.
Next item this evening, Environmental Services Director appointment, Mr. Darren Myers, County Administrator.
Well, as the commission is aware, this project with the environmental services has been an ongoing project for a little bit more than a year. It included building new scale houses, building a new environmental services office, moving the environmental offices out of this building out to there, cross-training staff between the environmental services and the solid waste department, pulling those two divisions out of public works and adding them to the county administrator, cross-training the staff, hiring additional staff to let them train up before this transition was to take place, all prior to this date, upcoming too. All that has been conducted, and it sounds like everything out at the landfill and the transfer station has been working smoothly. So at this point, with the county treasurer being sworn in, that now leaves room that we can appoint a department head for the newly created environmental services division or department. And the department heads for the county are all appointed by the commission. So with the appointment of a department head, we can promote a employee as well to the assistant director of that position. And I think that pretty much captures the progress we made in the last year. And before you tonight is a motion to appoint Mason Reuter as the department head, as well as Justin Craig to the assistant department head for environmental services.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Neil, any questions before we make a motion?
No, I like it that we're doing the cross-training, so somebody's absent, the other one can take over, and everybody gets to keep up on speed what's going on, so I like that.
No, I think that's a great deal also. Thank you, Vern, for helping out with Mason on that and Justin, so thank you very much. This time I'd ask for a motion. Neil?
Yes, I'll move to appoint Mason Reuter as the Environmental Service Director for Ellis County, and Justin Craig will take Mason Reuter's place.
I will second his motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0, Bobby. Next item this evening, environmental and attorney budget adjustments.
So for all this to take place, there's obviously a financial commitment to it. To start off with a couple different things, we'll just continue on with the environmental services. I don't know if our county attorney is here yet. I don't see him sitting back there.
Yep, he's in the back.
But as I stated a little bit ago, the environmental services and solid waste were both removed out of the public works department head position when we hired the new public works director with this planning. And with the savings of that position alone was allow us to appoint a new department head, which he just did with Mason, and making some additional changes and staff adjustments within those two new divisions under that new department. The attachment you see within you tonight shows an adjustment, which was exactly $12,469 split into the environmental services department for that cross-training, and allowing, I think it was Carrie, to start about a month and a half early to allow them additional time with her before all these transitions took place. On the other end of this, back in May of 2021 here, the county attorney came in front of the commission and asked to overfill a county attorney's position and in the plans to replace a future retirement next year of an assistant county attorney. At that point, the county attorney, we estimated if they needed the full entire year, we didn't know when that person would start, so we waited until both the positions were filled until later in the year, so we had a correct budget and number to adjust to the county attorney's budget. And with that, you can see that there's $49,646, which is just over $20,000 less than what was anticipated. So significant cost savings there as well. And I'm sure when Robert gets here this evening to speak to you and introduce to you to the new county attorney, he'll express more to that. But with all of that, just need the motion to approve the budget adjustments, and then I can get the numbers passed along to the county clerk's office to make those here in the next week or two.
You'd like us just to make a motion up because there's none in the blanket says none, but Neil can
Yeah,
As did
I'll
with
make
Neil
make
down
a
there.
motion to
a
approve.
motion to approve the budget adjustments for county attorney office and the environmental department.
I will second that motion, Bobby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Neil. Next, county attorney update, Mr. Robert Anderson.
May not be here yet. We may.
Thought I seen him walk in. Is he not sitting back there? Okay. We will go on. He's probably keeping our county safe and putting all the bad people away, so we'll bypass him. Big Creek Improvement District, Mr. Dennis Davidson. I know he's here. I see him now.
Good evening.
Evening, Dennis.
Nice to see you again.
You too. Thanks for coming over.
Those of you that don't know me, I'm Dennis Davidson. I'm an attorney at Thompson Arthur Davidson and Katz in Russell, Kansas, and it's been our privilege to recently represent the Big Creek Improvement District. Also here this evening is Mr. Dwayne Kuhn, who's the president of the Improvement District and also on the board of the Improvement District. The Board of the Improvement District engaged in a process a little over a year ago of addressing long overdue unpaid fees for sewer services in the district. The Improvement District, as you probably all know, provides sewer services to that portion of Ellis County that's within the Improvement District. This had been somewhat neglected, and so they decided the time was to set it right. And Actually, it's been very successful, and most of the people that reside in the improvement district and own land in the improvement district have recognized their obligations, and all that's been taken care of. But there's a couple that weren't, and one of them was the El Charro Apartments. One of the very effective ways that a improvement district can enforce fees and collect them is to certify past due fees to the county clerk so that those fees can be assessed and placed on the tax rolls of the county. With respect to the El Charro Apartments, this was done, and the improvement district certified past due fees of $36,288. Since that time, additional research has been done on the assessment, on the charging of fees, and historically, and it was discovered that while residential property within the improvement district was assessed a fee of a flat rate per month, that there were a couple of properties within the district, the El Charro Apartments being one of them, that the rate was assessed based on water usage. And so when the fees were certified to the county for assessment, there was a computation error because the wrong rate was applied for that period of time. Now, since that time, rates have been changed, but for the period of time in question, the rate should have been based upon the water usage. And so we have gone back and calculated what should have been the proper amount certified to be placed on the tax rolls, and that is $23,844. And the board of the improvement district would like to correct that error. We believe that the county commission has the authority to do that by statute because it was a computational error. So we wanted to meet with you this evening to answer any questions, or at least, open this up for your consideration. I know that administrative staff wants to look at the logistics involved and the possibility, if you were to agree that this should be adjusted, exactly how all that should take place. And so it's not on your agenda tonight for action, but we wanted to call it to your attention. And I think you have some documentation that Mr. Jeter had provided to you. And if there's any question I can answer at this time, or Dwayne can answer, we'd be glad to do it. Otherwise, we'd appreciate that you would consider it at your next meeting.
Sure. Dennis, I guess just one question. If the amount is $23,844, how does that go about getting collected? I know you mentioned in here it's been past due. Is that something that you would take care of about as far as collection goes, or is that something our county attorney has to do?
No, I think it'll just simply correct the amount that's assessed on the tax rolls, and it'll be up to the owner of the property to pay it, just like any other special assessment on real estate.
And then if it doesn't get paid, what happens then?
Well, the Big Creek Improvement District by statute does have authority to take legal action to collect it, or we can simply wait until the next foreclosure by the county.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how that worked. I figured you could answer that. Neil, questions for Dennis?
Nope, that's perfectly fair. I do serve as a certified operator for Render Improvement District, so I know all about it. They also asked me to come visit with them outside of this. We do the same thing. If they're not paying, it's a service. You don't get to go to Walmart, buy a bag of groceries and run out. You're using the service, it should be paid for.
Certainly, yeah, needs to be. Okay, thank you very much.
Dennis, for coming over. Have a good
Sure.
evening. Next, we'll move on to the Buckeye Wind Energy donation. Lyle's here.
Good evening, Commissioners. Lyle Pantel, Emergency Manager, Assistant Fire Chief. With me tonight is Nolan Schmeidler, who's the OM Manager for Buckeye Wind Energy. In years past, Mr. Brown and now Nolan have hosted training events at their one of their turbine sites for EMS, law, fire departments to help train our personnel to be prepared for incidents at their facility. And afterwards have always been very gracious and invited us over to their OM building for a meal. And they've also, in years past, given a donation to the fire department, which in years past we've used for firefighting protective gear. And this year we're going to not change anything, but the gear we've purchased in the past was wildland fire gear for our personnel. We have been purchasing wildland face masks for our personnel. Full face piece helps keep the smoke, soot out of your eyes and your respiratory system. And we're going to use the money this year for that, which should help finish our project off. So every county firefighter would now have their own individual face piece.
Great. Wonderful.
Nolan, would you like to say anything?
Nope, just on behalf of Buckeye Wind Energy, we'd like to offer the donation of $1,000 to the Ellis County Fire and Rescue Department, or Fire Department.
I think Darren's take the pictures. Thank you, sir.
Hey, you bet.
Ready?
Darren, can you grab one with mine too? Sorry.
Ready?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's all I have. Do you have any questions?
I don't. Thanks again, and working with the wind project out there. That's great. You guys have a good partnership together. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
County attorney did come in.
I did see him walk in. We're going to jump back up to county attorney update. Mr. Robert Anderson, county attorney. And his assistant, I believe.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Afternoon.
I've brought with me this evening James Rutherford. James Rutherford is a new hire attorney, so he's our new assistant county attorney. We just had him start on October 1st. Pretty well fresh out of law school, but from what I can tell thus far, he is well ahead of the curve. I'm really excited to have him. Seems like he's going to be a really great fit for the office. I think things are going to go really well having him in there with us. So thank you to the commissioners for your cooperation and approving some additional funds to this year's budget and to next year's budget in order to help with this transition of Ms. Brubaker retiring. We were able to also hire on a fifth legal assistant, Emily Hiss. She has greatly exceeded expectations. She came at the recommendation of our office manager, Rhonda Keener. We opened the position and I had many applicants, but ultimately she was who we selected. She had previously worked for a law firm and as a deputy clerk, I think, for Thomas County District Court. So she came in knowing our system, knowing our case management software, knowing how this stuff works. She's been a really great addition as well. So thank you for that cooperation. I think you can probably go if you're ready. He's got dinner plans, so.
Okay. Welcome aboard.
I don't know precisely what I'm all here to talk about. I do know that, well, first of all, I want to thank Darren Myers, our county administrator. He's been so incredibly helpful to me throughout this first year with all manner of things, in particular with looking at my budget, looking at how numbers play out when bringing on these new hires, different things, looking at what I might need to ask for, what I don't need, all those things. And so he's just been extremely helpful, and thank you. In looking at the current budget, it appears that we're well under budget currently, maybe 8 or 9% under budget or more, and that is with the transfer made to bring on this additional attorney and staff member. Prior to that transfer, we were slowly catching up to our expenditures, but we were consistently like 6 to 4% under budget, but that was obviously, without that transfer of money, we were going to catch up to ourselves in that manner. But I fully expect that at the end of the year, we'll come in under budget, and so even with those employees. I think the proposed budget for next year, while I'd originally come in here and requested something to the tune of $75,000 for the remainder of the year, I think we ultimately determined that that amount wasn't needed. That was due in part to Ms. Hiss was brought on for her first 3 months as an independent contractor. That money was paid out of our trust account. Our trust account is funded by diversions and civil forfeiture primarily. Just a little bit about that account. When I first took office, that number was at, I think, 35,000. I've just checked it. We're at 45,000. So not only do we use that fund to pay for office supplies and just different things where we can, we purchased things for law enforcement. We outfitted the Hayes Police Department with a new video camera and microphones for their interrogation room. We send law enforcement officers to training. I think we just purchased a state-of-the-art radar system for one of our sheriff's deputies who spends his time on I-70 doing drug interdiction. So we have a lot of money that comes out of that account for really good purposes, including community outreach, things like Boys and Girls Club and different things. I mean, we're constantly spending money out of there, but we, as planned, are constantly replenishing that money as well. Anyway, back to just a little update about next year's budget. We're not going to need as much as we requested, even the most up-to-date numbers. The plan was to have Ms. Brubaker with us through March of next year. She has told me today that her official retirement date will be December 31st of this year. So we will not need the funds that would have been earmarked for her salary and so on and so forth, January through March. And I'm certainly fine if the commission wants to take a look at those numbers again and not approve whatever amount that is. Darren, that's where you come in. As in terms of just a general update for the office, I know I told the commission I would come here every once in a while and just update on how things are going. October 1 was my 1 year at being in that office. January 11th will be my 1 year as the county attorney. It certainly has been interesting and busy and stressful, and my golf game is suffering miserably. But it's been very rewarding. I've learned more in this year than I did in the 5 years prior working as a defense attorney. I think I've got a great staff. I think I've got a very competent, fun, hardworking staff. Things are going really well. I don't want to bore you with too many numbers or statistics, but I think this is helpful to some degree when comparing Ellis County to Ellis County, not necessarily Ellis County to other places. We are on pace. As of today's date, we, I think, have filed 370 adult criminal cases. I didn't bother looking at the child in need of care, care and treatment, juvenile offender, ABC tickets, traffic matters. There's a ton of those, but just in terms of adult prosecution, which is primarily what I handle, we have filed 370 adult criminal cases, and if my math is correct, we would be on pace for approximately 450 cases for the year. Those numbers are pretty stellar, given the number of staff that we have. Just for reference, in 2020, the number of cases filed was 414, so that's quite an increase. Looking back a few years, and noting that in 2019, 18, and 17, they had 5 full-time attorneys. They hit numbers that looked like 537, 535, and 601. So with the staff that we have, the numbers that we have, we are really generating a lot of work. And I think that those numbers don't tell the full story. If you take a deeper dive into the types of cases being filed and what's being prosecuted, at least in my opinion, I think that there's a subjective and objective truth that what's being taken care of is making a really huge impact on community safety. In specifically, I I have come to find that I have a passion for filing sexual assault crimes. That's important to me. You know, my priority list in terms of what we get to, it goes dead bodies, and hopefully we don't have any, but sometimes we do, child victims, sexual assault crimes that involve adult victims, violent crimes, so on and so forth. That's my priority list. In looking at sexual assault crimes and what was filed in past years, to date, I've filed 14 serious sexual assault cases thus far. I'm on pace and probably will have somewhere around 17 to 20 filed by the end of the year. In past years, looking at 2020, 19, 18, and 17, there were 11, 5, 8, and 5. So we are blowing those numbers completely out of the water. I guess my interpretation of that is that there's been a shift in priority. I think that shift, not to take away from anything anyone did in the past either, you know, I don't want that to be taken as a criticism or a judgment or anything like that, but I think there's been a clear shift in priority, and I'm happy that that shift has occurred. I think that objectively we'll know that that's created a greater impact on community safety. Other than that, I really don't have a lot to address. I'm sure you may have questions. The only other exciting thing on my plate is, as you may know, there's this crazy stuff in the world called hemp-derived Delta-8 THC products. This has been a topic of contention across the state amongst law enforcement. There's really no consensus amongst prosecutors on how to deal with this stuff, whether it's legal, whether it's illegal. As far as I can tell, I'm leading the charge. The Attorney General's office has finally decided that they will issue a legal opinion on this particular issue. They've received 2 requests for that opinion, one from the KBI as a complete agency, the other is from me. I already have my interpretation, what I believe to be correct, but they'll at some point issue their own statement. And in addition to that, we actually got an open criminal case where we should have at least a district court judge from our county weigh in on the issue, and we'll have that authority to move forward. Ultimately, I think where this is headed, you know, I'm not looking to make any problems or create financial hardship or embarrassment or anything else for businesses in town, vendors, citizens, anything else over hemp-derived Delta-8 THC products. This is pretty low on the priority list. But the problem is that the way the law is written and the way that these products are being sold is it is extremely difficult for law enforcement to enforce the law, and that's their job. So where I think this is headed is I'd really like the opportunity to get in front of the Kansas legislator after we've got these issues more well-defined and let them know, basically, to dumb it down really, hey, either legalize this stuff or don't. This middle ground stuff is making it extremely complicated for businesses across the state, for law enforcement across the state, for your average citizen to know what is and what is not legal or illegal. And it could cause some real problems, and so that's one kind of bigger, interesting issue that's being tackled on top of everything else. Any questions?
Not far as that goes, but are you familiar with the opioid settlement that's going through Topeka right now for counties that didn't participate? They're going to get a settlement out of this. Do I read that correct or interpret that, or am I wrong?
That is something I need to look a little further into. I have heard mention of it. This was something that was addressed at the Attorney General's call. The Attorney General visited Waukene, Kansas. I was unable to attend, however, kind of my right-hand man, Mr. Cunningham, Assistant Ellis County Attorney, did attend. He did bring back a number of materials. I have not been able to review those materials. We discussed that very briefly, but yeah, there is something to the effect of this class action lawsuit and certain amount of funds should be diverted or sent to the counties. The idea being that this is meant to address and treat the addiction for those problems, but I don't have any other information other than that.
If you look into that sometime.
Absolutely. Yep.
Let us know. I read a little bit about it the other day that Jay Hall had put out, and I just wondered what you knew about it, if anything.
Certainly. I will put that on my to-do list. I'll get you a memo or report back to the commission in person soon, within the next month.
Okay. Perfect.
If it may help, Mr. Jeter and I have a meeting that we're going to try to meet up with the county attorney. This is the letter and the settlement offer and all that, so
Well, there
we
you
are in the
go.
works,
Okay.
proceeding with
Go.
it.
Okay, great.
They're already helping you
The
out. Now you can
groundwork-
just interpret what they have.
The groundwork is laid. I just need to be there.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, commissioners.
Any questions, Neil?
Yeah, Mr. Anderson, it's nice to see you here. Thanks for the update.
Thank you.
And now you have to come back, so, and thank you also for watching the funds that you are to help in our budget process for next year, too.
Absolutely.
So,
That's a
I thank you.
huge priority of mine.
And thanks for what
With
you're
winter
doing.
Coming on, your golf game's gonna keep going downhill, so it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It'll be like mine, 0.
Well, I don't know. We'll find more time for it at some point.
There you go.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
If I may, the beginning of the meeting kind of sped through a little quick, and I overlooked something that we should have probably addressed, but before, when we swore in the treasurer, we made the appointment to approve Mason. I didn't invite either Mason or Justin up in front of the commission, so I thought I would apologize on that behalf, and I would ask both Mason and Justin to come up so I can introduce them as the two new,
Sure.
since he got all dressed up and
That's
everything.
right, that's right.
It's kind of dusty.
But as the commission is aware, Karen Purvis retired from the county about 4 or 5 years ago, and with that vacancy created the opening to hire Mason as the environmental technician. And after Karen's retirement, Mason was promoted in. They redesigned the job description a little bit, and Mason became the environmental planning zoning supervisor. I know it's quite a long title. With that, once Mason was promoted, Justin was hired shortly after, and he's our current environmental services environmental technician for the office. So both of these are the two that were just appointed as a department head with Mason, and Justin will be the environmental assistant director.
Yeah, we don't have business cards, we have business pamphlets, so.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you both. Justin, thank you for moving up to that position.
For the opportunity.
So, you don't have
Thank
too
you,
big
Commissioner.
shoes to fill, but you can at least you can keep Mason in line if you have to.
Lord knows I need it.
If not, he's right beside you, so.
And if you two would turn around, I think there's a young lady that would like to take your picture facing her instead of taking a picture of your backside. Okay, Justin, jump in there.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you,
you both,
Commissioners,
and
for the
welcome aboard.
opportunity.
You bet.
Look
Thank
forward to
you.
working with you for the next 30 years or so.
That'll be good. I hope you hear that. As long as it makes the commission's job very easy when you have long-term employees.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks for what you both do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We will move on to probably what everybody's in this room for, I'm thinking. Historical Society update. Brad, Ricky, and your whole entire room. And whoever else wants to come up with Brad, you're more than welcome to. If
That's right.
he has people to introduce or whatever, that is great, and give us an update.
That's
Moral
right.
support.
My backup.
How about the rest of your 20 people? They are for moral support too.
They're back there.
Inside,
I know they are.
inside is a raffle.
Look for the gun.
Like this, so I'd like you to see.
Thank you.
Together. Summer,
Thank you.
would you like a copy too? I think you will. But thank you so much. You're welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners, gentlemen, Bobby. My name is Brad Ricky. I'm a detective with the Ellis County Sheriff's Office. I'm also the liaison for the county for the Ellis County Historical Society. I am joined here by our board president, Priscilla Hunt, and also our interim director, Amanda Rupp. The last time that we addressed the commission was Monday, August 13th of 2021. We wanted to give you a progress report of what we've been up to for the last couple of months, so that is why we are here. Dustin would be able to, there we go. As you guys well know, and maybe we're even down there, October 1st and 2nd were the Oktoberfest. And we were also present at the Oktoberfest. And as you can see, let's just see here if I can make that look a little bit better. We had our whole entire Volga German exhibit booth down there. Amanda did a great job with all these info posters that we had posted around. And we just wanted to, because we're proud of the fact that we were down there and we had our booth, we just wanted to kind of show off what we did have down there. We handed out community stickers, which I'm going to show, and then possibly have Amanda explain what those were. And the Historical Society actually brought in approximately $700 from store sales and donations through Oktoberfest. So it was definitely a very positive thing for us. So these are some of the stickers that we handed out. Amanda, can you explain what these stickers meant?
We were just trying to get the citizens involved in some Volga German pride. So we designed a sticker that says in German, "My people are from," whichever of these townships your people are from, "home of the very best blank," and you fill in the blank, in western Kansas. And so there was lots of people with some creative answers to those questions, and some rivalries maybe, and you could tell where everybody was from. So I think it got people talking and remembering what the Ellis County Historical Society is here for. So I don't know where everybody else is from, but I got hints that you are from Munger and you might be best in western Kansas at something, and maybe your family was from Walker.
Actually, Antonino.
And I got
Antonino.
too.
Thank you.
I don't know if anybody else is from, but.
So Commissioner Hazelhorst, you see that Antonino says best looking men. I don't know what that means.
This is as good as it gets. Take it or
I
leave
think
it.
those are only suggestions, but maybe, I don't
Whatever
know.
you want, yeah.
I don't know. Commissioner Younger, are you the best dancer, or is that where the?
You have to ask my beautiful
That's
wife out
right,
there.
that's right. Okay. So that was Oktoberfest for us. We were very proud of what we did, and we believe that we made a very positive impression on the community by being there. And we're going to also be in the public's eye here in another month. In fact, the Ellis County Historical Society's 50th anniversary celebration is coming up on November 6th. That's a Saturday. Can you believe we've been around for 50 years? We're going to start that day at around 10 o'clock there on our campus at Main and 7th Street. We're going to have presenters in our stone church. We're going to clear all of our exhibits and artifacts that we have. Probably try to find somewhere to put all that stuff. And then we're going to have presenters there, historical presenters that we've talked about having presenters for Hayes Medical Center or oil or fire. Or law enforcement. All those presenters are going to be speaking throughout the day, and then every 2 hours, the rumor has it, there may be some gunfights around our campus as well for the kids and anybody else that might be interested in that. So we're really excited about that. However, and we'll have like refreshments and cake there to celebrate our 50th. But around 6 o'clock, we're going to move everything from the campus over to the Hayes Community Theater, where we're going to be having a dance that night. We'll have alcoholic beverages as well as food available. We're going to have polka music and, well, you could show off some of your dancing, Commissioner Younger. And some, and then we're also going to have country music as well. There's no cover for that. It's we want the community to come and enjoy our history and the Historical Society with us. This is a celebration that we shouldn't make any money. However, we will have our raffle, which there is some information within your packets there. We are raffling off 4 different things. One is a Henry repeater rifle, 22. Now, these are all going to be specifically for our 50th celebration, so there's probably you don't want to go out and shoot these things. You probably want to just preserve them, maybe hang them on the wall. We're also going to have a pistol, a six-shooter, 22. And because I needed to get my wife motivated into me putting a lot of money into this, possibility of getting a rifle out of the deal, there's also a day spa package, a couples spa package, and then there's also a lifetime membership for the Ellis County Historical Society, which is in and of itself a $500 value right there. We're going to raffle those actually off at the dance. So we want a lot of people to come and join us and celebrate with us. Even, if you don't have anything to do with the Historical Society, come down and join us anyway. We'd be happy to see you there. So, Priscilla, did I forget anything about that?
Nope, I think you did really good on that.
Okay, well then we'll move on.
Moving on. We do have something though in October yet.
Okay,
We have the trick or treating.
yes, we do. I do have that on the agenda here. The trick or treat on the bricks. We'll have some of our board members there at the Stone Church, and they'll be giving out Tootsie Rolls and whatnot to the kids that go by. She's going to be dressed as,
Probably gonna be dressed like maybe, I don't
Grandma
know.
Anna.
Grandma what?
Grandma Anna.
Grandma Anna. So if you want to see Grandma Anna, or if you just like Tootsie Rolls, you need to stop by the Ellis County Historical Society. So
It'll be fun.
it will be fun. It will be fun. Speaking of fun, I don't know if you guys went down to the Big Boy steam engine when it came through. So some of our board members took the pop-up sales store down there and ended up making about $300 off of our pop-up store down there. So, and then they also enjoyed the interaction with the community as well. So, our president has deemed that we need two new committees, and those two committees are, we have a new budget committee, and then we have a new strategic planning committee as well. And a membership committee as well. We continue, let me back up a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place if you're trying to follow along here. We've also secured an intern from the Fort Hays State University Dane G. Hansen internship program for the summer of '22. So my guess is we'll probably have them working hard at filing and doing archive stuff. And then we're also keeping our options open for space. Here recently, Mary Kay Shippers from Victoria spoke with me after speaking with somebody else in the room, and she suggested, which I thought was a wonderful idea, of maybe getting some space there at the Victoria Rest Home. So for those that don't know, the Victoria Rest Home has been vacant for like 10 years. And then Jeff Pfeiffer, who lives near Kansas City, ended up buying it, and he's looking for things to put in there. Now, this is a 40,000 square foot building, some of which is going to need a lot of work, and some wouldn't need much work at all. They're considering, Jeff is considering, because they had a public hearing on what they should do with the building, they're considering maybe putting an adult or juvenile daycare in there, or possibly, what were some of the other ideas, a city office in there or a community center. But one of the top three things that that the community thought would be great would be having the Ellis County Historical Society there. And I think that's great because you've got the Basilica, the Cathedral of the Plains, within walking distance. And we know that the Basilica has, well, what they've told us is 10,000 to 15,000 visitors a year. Could you imagine if we could get those visitors from the Basilica that walk down? They spend half the day at the church. Now they spend the rest of the day there at the Historical Society. that keeps them in Victoria for quite a while, and that may help the city of Victoria with, they're going to want to eat somewhere. They're going to want to maybe, I don't know if Victoria has a hotel, but maybe someday they might. Or they may go do some shopping while they're there too. We really think that it's a win-win, but we got to make sure that we have all of our ducks in an order before we make a decision like that. But it would have plenty of room for art exhibits, it'd have plenty of room for business aspect, and it'd have plenty of room for storage as well, and then have areas for other things such as that adult daycare and city offices. So we're keeping our eyes out, but along those same lines, as we look to the future, we need to have a place that we can make those plans, to have those board meetings, to have a base that doesn't have mold and environmental hazards as such. And so we're very...
Organized. We need to get more organized.
Absolutely. And so the Schmidt Foundation has very, very graciously provided us with a business suite within the Eagle Business Plaza located at 1011 West 27th Street, Suite F1, just for the purpose of providing a suitable space for us and our employees and our board members alike to plan for the future of the Ellis County Historical Society. So we've got some pictures of that, but I know you guys have had quite a long night already, so get with me after the meeting if you'd like to see those. We're really excited, or maybe we'll just have an open house. You will definitely be invited to come and take a look at what we've put together. My thought is we actually get possession of that October 27th, but we got a 50th anniversary party to put on first. So my guess is it'll probably be closer to the second or third week in November before we get everything finalized on that. So if I didn't forget anything, certainly you can email me or let me know after the meeting. Guys, thank you for your time. Do you have any questions for us that we might be able to answer?
Neil?
It's good for you guys. You guys are headed in the right direction. You got a lot of people, a lot of trustees in there. A lot of people I know. There's one back in the corner back there.
Yep.
And they're all active.
Yeah.
I have to say one good thing about our board and trustees. They all get involved. There is nobody that I can say slums, they're there. They're there to help and give good ideas. Great board and trustees.
Yeah.
And a great liaison.
Yeah, and it's like say you're going after the fundraisers. That's what it's going to take.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
It's exciting sitting up here for 11 years. You guys have, from kind of where it's been at till present, it's exciting to see you guys here, and it's just new things and new faces. And I know you got an exciting group. As you know, Mary Kay Shippers called me, and we talked for, I don't know how long we talked for. It was a very long time. And finally, she said, "Do you have Brad Ricky's number?" I said, "Yeah, I do."
Well, here, let me just give that to you if you don't have it.
So I think I called.
I got Mary Kay's.
Mhm.
I called Dan. Dan gave me Mary Kay's, then I gave Mary Kay.
Yeah.
So I called somebody from the sheriff's department. I was Scott Brown or who it was. And I called to make sure I could give your number out.
Now I know who to look at. No, that's absolutely fine. That's the communications that we're going to need to keep the Historical Society going.
Well, if you could go to Victoria, I think it'd be a great location. I mean,
And I'd love to get Mary Kay Shippers on with maybe overwatching the volunteers, or, I'd like to really recruit her. She's got a lot of passion and she's got a lot of vision.
She does.
I think
As
that'd be a
to-
good person to have on your team.
Absolutely.
She's all excited about it, trust me.
Yeah.
Not
You
only-
probably hear about it.
And, if she could get Dan involved in it too, it'd be a great couple to have on board with you guys and keep moving it forward. And I think in Victoria would be a great place to have it. Like I say, you're right down the street from the Basilica, it's walking distance. And,
Yeah.
if you could bring in 6,000 people a year or so, that would be awesome.
Well, and even the Basilica itself has artifacts that they can't display. We would be able to bridge that gap.
It would be a good community partnership.
Yeah.
I think it'd be exciting if you can make all that
Yeah.
work. Did you bring raffle tickets along?
Yes.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can get that after the meeting here, but
Sounds good.
We still know that our campus is here on Hayes, and we're not going to forget about Hayes. We've got a lot of rich history here in the city of Hayes and in Ellis as well. So I want to make sure that I didn't skip over this, but again, we'd like to thank the commission for your support with helping with the outside agency requests. That support guarantees the future of the past of Ellis County. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I think we'll call it good, okay?
It is nice to see you guys using that funding for this. Not just saying, oh, we got to do this, we got to do, you guys are moving on and doing stuff. And not only that, Victoria, we're going to build you a new road right to it, so.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Mary Kay came when we had the Oktoberfest and autographed books. You know, we sell her books in our bookstore. She's written 4 of them, I think. And so I asked her to come to the Oktoberfest and sit there, and she sat there almost the whole day and visited and autographed books.
Good.
So
Good.
she's been a good member too.
Yep, get her recruited.
And how many members are on there, including you guys? There's like 20?
17, there's 17 trustee board members.
17.
Yes.
Yep.
We changed our bylaws in
Well,
in
yeah.
March to include 4 extras this year,
And
which
Johnny
is what they
Waltz
used
is
to.
on there.
Yeah, Johnny Wallace is back. It gives us a lot of help to do what we need to do. So gentlemen, we'll see you in 2 months, and we'll.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yep, see ya. We'll move on to high-risk rural road grant. Brendan Mckay, Public Works Director.
Good evening, Commissioners. Brendan Mckay, Ellis County Public Works Director. Glad to see all the turnout because everyone's so excited about the high-risk rural road grant, like I am.
I still think they was here to see Mason.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. Well, it's been a pretty long meeting, so I'll keep it short and sweet. High-risk rural road grant, county's been selected a number of times over the past few years. So far, every time we've been selected, it's been no cost to the county. This is most likely the last time we'll get this grant at no cost to the county. The rest of the upgrades are going to be much larger in scope, and that requires matching funds from the county. With this agreement, it's for the preliminary engineering services for the intersection upgrades at Walker Avenue and Old 40 and Pfeiffer Avenue and Old 40. Signage, rumble strips, painting, very standard. So with that, it's no cost to the county, but we need to pay for the preliminary engineering and we'll be reimbursed back by the state. So if you'd still like to continue with the signing, painting, and rumble strips added to those 2 intersections, this is about the 3rd time I've been before you guys on it, so 3rd time's a charm. If you want to say no now, let me know.
I think it'd be perfectly fine. When
Okay.
are we going to stripe the roads again? I think you said end of October?
It's-
The ones that have been resurfaced?
It's actually looking like later this week, as long as the
Later
weather
this
holds
week?
out. Yes.
Okay, good.
He was planning last week, got held up. We already have all the paint and the glass beads out for him.
And that'll be,
Hopefully Wednesday, but with the storms coming Tuesday night,
That'll be like South Main Street Road going towards Antonino, that road there?
yes, every road that was overlaid or scrub sealed and then a few others.
Good.
It's about $100,000 we spend each year on striping, so we get more than what we overlay and scrub seal every year, just because some fades. Like I know we'll do the Ys out here on Old 40, coming into Hayes, on the east side of Hayes, where the markings are non-existent. We'll be redoing that section as well as a few others.
Tomorrow, if you have time, would you mind driving south of Antonino, I believe, to the 2 miles, and then go on to the 3rd mile? I think, is that where John Dryling lives, right?
It's right there.
About
yeah.
2.5
Mhm.
miles south,
2.5.
is that correct?
South of Old 40?
No, south of, go straight south of Antonino.
Antonino.
Oh, the Antonio town, okay.
Go south 2 miles and then drive it from the 2nd mile to the 3rd mile. It's got some pretty good ruts in it. I know we graded over, but when it rains, that road is just shy of a mud run.
Pretty sandy road, so it may need a shoulders.
It actually could use some sand. There isn't much sand on that
Okay.
area there. You might just look at that if you would, please.
Yep, might need the shoulders tucked in and
See what you got.
alrighty,
That'd be perfect, but no, thanks for doing all that. That's great.
not a problem.
I have had a few calls on our bridge up on the Saline River. That is now closed.
I have as well. So I'll have more information for you on Friday's meeting, an agreement with Penco. That's the
fine.
direction we want to go.
Darren mentioned that today. I talked to Darren this afternoon. He mentioned that, so.
Well, I got the email out during our safety meeting today. So right after our safety meeting, when everyone's eating lunch, I put together the agenda item real quick to make sure I got it in time. So,
That's great.
but
Neil, anything for
Yeah,
Brendan?
This is good. This will make history. If that's the last time we're gonna get it here, we better take it.
well, it's the last time will be free for us. Then the
Yeah.
other times it'll be at cost to the county. So signage, pavement markings, that sort of thing are 100% covered. That's why there's always new no passing zone signs been going up around the county, and it's only for major and minor collector roads under the federal highway system. So it covers basically all of our paved roads, and then some of our major rock roads like Saline River Road.
Sure. Good deal.
But I think we need a motion for it.
Mr. Younger?
I'll make a motion to accept and sign the agreement for preliminary engineering PE design services by consultant cost plus net fee agreement.
I'll second that motion, Bobby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Brendan,
Thank you.
have a good evening. County Administrator report, Mr. Darren Meyer, County Administrator.
I just have 3 quick items tonight. First is to just make another announcement that we are looking for about 50 to 60 acres of land somewhere near the close proximity of the city of Hayes to build a new public workshop. So if there's anybody out there, please notify one of the commissioners or myself so we can be in conversation about what we're trying to plan. The second thing is next Monday, we do not have a commission meeting. We're going to have that this Friday at 7:30 a.m. And since Brendan got me that agenda item this afternoon, we should have the agenda out for tomorrow, but it'll probably be about a 3-minute meeting. Pretty quick, so we'll get that taken care of since we'll be at conference next week. And the last item, I just wanted to point out, I don't wear pink every day, but the fire department's, I look good. Lyle looked better, but he's not here. The county fire department for the month of October is wearing pink. We got the firefighters pink county fire department t-shirts just for the simple fact that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're here to support all the ladies. So we're all not too proud to wear pink and support them. So that's why we're having, if you see them out and about wearing the pink shirts, that's what we're doing.
Good for you.
That's all I got.
County Commission reports, Mr. Younger.
Only thing I have to report is us 3 were at the city meeting. Had some good and interesting suggestions, thoughts. Other than that, and I think it went well.
Went very well.
So hopefully we get funding for that. So that's all I have.
Well, I think it made great leaps and bounds in Topeka. I know they heard our message. Julie Lorenz was very excited that Ellis County showed up and presented what we had to say. So thank you all for attending. I'd say it went very well, and I think they heard our message. It was nice to have all the city leaders there and President of Fort Hays State there and our representatives there. So it was good. We had a good representation. Meeting went well. Next week we will all be in Overland Park for, I guess you guys 3 days, me 4 days. So exciting times there. Be a lot to learn there also. So looking forward to that. No executive sessions, correct? None. We will adjourn at 5:59. Thank you all for coming, and you all are welcome back. It just doesn't have to be to see Mason or Vern, sworn in. You're all welcome back anytime. Historical Society, Brad, Ricky, and group was exciting to hear that update. Thank you all that are on that 17-member board, I believe he said. So thank you all for volunteering your time for that. Seeing the sheriff out there, Mr. Brown, you got anything you'd like to share with the commission?
Yeah, we're good. All is good.
And I will say, I see your officers out a lot in the country.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So you're not the only one. I hear it quite a bit. So.
And even on I-70, there's the one that sits in the median at I-70 quite often. Sometimes he does this. I don't know what that means. Can you explain that to me sometime? He never gives me the thumbs up.
It'll be the lights on the next time. You'll find out what that is.
Again, thank you all for coming. You have a great evening. God bless you, and keep Butch Schleier and his family in your prayers. Thank you all.